Welcome in, everybody. It is officially week 7. We are here. Happy Wednesday. Ready to answer your questions. So if you're with us, throw them in the comments. I've got Coach. I've got Tyler. The full mediator gang is here. We've got Coach's over-unders. We just made them last minute to go through. Tyler's got some special content for us later in the show. So we appreciate anyone and everyone who is here. Be sure to like the stream. As always, you can follow us on X at the FF Mediators. You can follow Tyler at Tyler T Farmer _34, at Coach ZMac on X for Coach. And let's get straight to it, boys. We got a couple questions in here. You guys ready to get rolling?
Let's go. I can't wait for Tyler's part, honestly. I cannot wait.
It's going to be great, and I do want to say I made a special moment for it too. So it's going to get a little bit better.
On that.
SWL Bose, our first question here says, if CD doesn't play, my next up is Darren Waller or Tajay Spears. What do you do here, Tyler? I know you've been our tight end man for the Face Off Sports Network here. You've been doing lots of videos talking about, is Darren Waller real? What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think you played Darren Waller at that point. Honestly, he didn't have a great week last week. He kind of salvaged it with a touchdown. I think it was like 2 catches for 12 yards or something like that. But yeah, 2 catches, 12 yards, and a touchdown. So I think he probably has a better week this week. I think Cleveland's going to make Tua get the ball out pretty quick. So I would take Darren Waller. I just would rather see Tajay to, do something before I throw him out there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I do think at this point Darren Waller's a little touchdown dependent, but that's okay. I mean, because I think the chances of him getting a touchdown is higher than Tajay Spears, just to be honest. So it's a big fall off from CD to those 2 guys. There's no doubt. But when you put those guys in, you're hoping one of them finds a touchdown, and Darren Waller gives you your best chance. He was limited at practice today, but I don't think that's a big deal. I think he's playing.
It's probably a rest day. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. Coach, what's your thoughts on Tajay Spears going forward?
I don't love him. I don't know how you can love him, to be honest. Like, he was on my waiver list, and if that offense somehow gets going and becomes a little bit improved, maybe. If last year's Chicago Bears would be in any indication, this midseason coach firing didn't really exactly ramp up the offense. There's a lot of times it's too late in the season to make huge offensive changes. Things will just kind of maintain status quo for the most part, I would imagine. So you can't feel too great about Tajay or any Titan as it is. I do think things will get a little better, but not drastically.
Yeah, I think Tajay is interesting. I mean, we saw him get some more snaps, had a little bit more production than I think some were kind of expecting. He's not necessarily being eased into the role. He's certainly just jumping right back into it. Tyler, do you have any interest in picking up Tajay Spears if he was available out there for you?
I mean, you can, especially if you're a running back needy team. You maybe have 2 or 3 guys. I mean, maybe you've had some injuries, like you've got Chuba and you didn't look up and get Rico. Some other injuries like that. Maybe I'd take a shot at having that backfield. Maybe he takes back over, but I would. Otherwise, if I've got a pretty stable running back room, I'm not just throwing anybody to the waivers for him.
This Titan thing has just been a complete train wreck. I could talk forever about how it's just been awful for Cam Ward and the entire offense. Like, a lot of this is on Brian Callahan. Like, I get it. But a lot of mid-season changes don't usually fix those types of things. Everything that a coach could do wrong this year, as far as not just offense, but a lot of the way he handled game management, to throwing his first-round quarterback under the bus, number 1 pick quarterback under the bus this past week. So things can't get much worse than they have. I guess there's that.
Well, let's carry on, fellas. We got Zach, who's in here as always. Welcome in, Zach. Jared says, thoughts on Jamar Chase rest of the season? Owner in my league, real weak at running back. Would Vidal and Chase get Amon-Ra? Coach, what's your thoughts on this deal here?
Vidal and Chase might. I don't know what's, if I'm the Amon-Ra owner, I would have to think about it. I would feel better long-term with just holding Amon-Ra the way things have been going for him in Detroit. I do think things improved for Jamar Chase with Joe Flacco, but we actually had this conversation as a group in regards to T. Higgins yesterday. Joe Flacco didn't necessarily make the offense better. They were just in garbage time. He was bad until the game got out of hand, then all of a sudden he's, completing passes everywhere. I think I would rather have Amon-Ra, honestly.
Tyler?
Yep.
I think Amon-Ra is the more stable force, I mean, at this point. Coach, we talked about it. You kind of alluded to like the garbage time touchdowns, stuff like that. But really and truthfully, like, does it matter as long as they're scoring fantasy points? And I think Joe Flacco throwing the ball, however many times he's going to throw it, I think that gives them the best chance. Now, I do think, let me look, because
now the
if I
problem
remember,
with that comes like the Jets this past week when it wasn't garbage time, it was a nightmare again. If you're banking on garbage time and they're hanging the game, it's a problem.
well, yeah, but the issue with that is we've all criticized Justin Fields' ability to throw the ball, whereas we know Joe Flacco can spin it. It's just he's old and he can't move around the pocket a lot. So the thing is you also have to realize too, we've had some tough like matchups here for the Bengals. You had Minnesota week 3, Denver week 4, Detroit week 5, which wasn't horrendous but wasn't great either. Then you had Green Bay this past week, and you're getting ready to have Pitt. So I think Pitt will be okay. I think it'll be a closer game, and then the Jets, and then they get Chicago. So the back half of the year, though, their schedule is actually pretty favored, especially for the wide receiver position. So for me, I think it could be worse. But if you wanted to go Amon-Ra, I wouldn't. If you had to just throw in Vidal, I would do that.
Yeah. I would be fine with it. I mean, Vidal might be just a temporary fix to this issue, to be honest. The Chargers have been linked to adding another guy, and that's very well something that could happen. Brees Hall is possibly on the block. That's a name I'm going to be monitoring for the next week or so. I'd love to see Brees Hall get moved. I wouldn't necessarily love it for long-term purposes, but I mean, he's on a year contract. Maybe that injury is a little bit worse to Amari Hampton. We saw they wanted a running mate already, so something certainly could happen there. Coach is shaking his head.
Bring him to Chicago.
That's another one. I mean, hell, even Washington. I mean, there's teams out there that need a running back, so I could see Brees Hall getting moved. If Myers does get traded, who's the wide receiver 1? If this is a question for who's the wide receiver 1 in Vegas, I don't know if it matters, to be quite honest. I think it's just Brock Bowers when he plays and Ashton Genty. And other than that, I'm not starting anyone. I mean, Thornton is not someone I'm interested in. Jack Besh has been brutal. Go ahead, Coach. What's your thoughts?
I was just going to say it looks like Bowers is not going to play again this week. Trey Tucker would be the wide receiver 1. I mean, you're right. I don't know how much it matters, but it would be an uptick in targets for Trey Tucker, I think. We were chasing the points on him a couple of weeks ago, and if Myers left, he would get a bit of an uptick, I guess.
Yeah. Tyler, any thoughts there?
No, I mean, you're probably right. It probably is Trey Tucker, but then again, too, do we have any concern or, I guess, upside look at any of the rookies? Like, do you think Besh or maybe Thornton gets back in here and makes some waves if Jacoby is moved?
I mean, I would expect Besh would just have more opportunity. I mean, he kind of is similar to that Jacoby role. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be much worse than what they've already been, in my opinion. So there's nowhere to go but up. Thornton was someone a lot of people had a lot of preseason hype for. I think Coach and I are both in agreement. We were not necessarily in it. I don't see it when I watched Thornton. He didn't separate. He didn't really find a way to get open. I mean, he made some plays, but it just kind of felt more luck than anything.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Tyler. Anything else?
Oh, no, I was just saying he was more of like the deep threat kind of target we thought he would be. And then whenever you get Trey Tucker kind of in that role as well, it's obvious the connection's a little bit better with Trey Tucker. So,
yeah. Well, it looks like there's some major issues with YouTube right now. It's not our end. I've been trying to fix everything on the back end, so sorry about that. But looks like it's YouTube, not us overall. So might be a little slower. So if you're in here watching, you're able to watch, throw your questions. We'll have some more time dedicated to those. Otherwise, we'll talk some buy sells and get through some more stuff. But Jared Fortin says, do you guys think Giants make a deal? And if so, for who? Coach, do you think the Giants make any type of move? I mean, struggles at the offensive line would be the initial thought. I mean, not necessarily a sexy pick, but it's one that I think they could make. Probably could use some help on the back end. Their defensive line is really strong. So there's some opportunity there for the Giants.
Yeah, I just think a lot of it ends up with how does it go this week? You go to 2-5. You're not making some major gigantic move necessarily to make your team a lot better this year. It feels like more of an off-season thing at that point. So I mean, if they win, right, and you go to 3-4 and you're back in the hunt, then things change. But at this point, it may just be riding on how it goes this weekend.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I know the big names everybody wants to hear about is like Kamara, I guess Jacoby, for a more fantasy relevant aspect, is probably those guys. I still don't know that Kamara is going to get traded. I mean, he's said that he doesn't want to be traded. He wants to stay in New Orleans. So I don't really see them necessarily making a ton of moves. Like Coach said, if you're already 2-5, you're down your star wide receiver. I don't know that you'd make a ton of moves, but you might make some depth moves for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the other team too is the Patriots have been linked to looking for a wide receiver. Jacoby could go back home to the Patriots. I don't know. I think a lot of this it's one of those things of last year we saw a lot more trades at the deadline, but a lot of years it's pretty quiet. So I don't think it's necessarily a guarantee for all the things to get shaken up this week. I'd love to see my Manders make a play for a defensive back because my word, we need it. So that's the one I'm watching the most. Jamie's here. We appreciate you for being here as always, Jamie. Question here from Yusuf Guy says, was offered a trade of Downs, Fannin, and Spears for Pacheco and Keenan Allen. 12-team PPR. My current running back room is CMC, Henderson, Marks, Spears, and Hampton. What do you think of this deal, Coach?
Well, Downs had a little bit of an uptick to this past week. Now, Sundley in concussion protocol, probably not playing this week.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to note here. Fannin and Spears.
I think Pacheco and Spears are almost a wash. Like it's not necessarily going to help you. Pacheco's been really inconsistent. That run game's not great in Kansas City. I do personally like Fannin. I think Fannon's a great play, especially with Njoku possibly being out. So he might be the best player in this deal, which is kind of funny to say. Keenan Allen has some consistency there, right, Tyler? I mean, do you think he's a better play than Josh Downs long term for the rest of the season?
I mean, long term, no. Maybe currently, yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think his usage the past 2 weeks has not been very great. I know he's not caught as many touchdowns. I know that for sure.
Hey, so it's probably fair to say this deal is Downs and Fannin for Keenan. If that's how we look
essentially
at it, I like Downs and Fannin better.
I was going to say, yeah. So with over the last 3 weeks, Keenan has had 5 catches for 37 yards in week 4 versus the Giants, 5 catches for 58 yards in week 5, and then 4 for 27 last week against Miami. And all of those, his highest finish has been wide receiver 43. So I would probably take the youth there. I know Downs is in concussion protocol, but hey, if he's ruled out early, you can put him in your IR spot and try to go pick somebody else up.
Just make sure you're not having to, that you have to have a wide receiver this week.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Jesse's question here, guys. It says trade Hurts for Lamar, 2 QB league, 4-point touchdown, passing touchdown. I have Josh Allen at QB1, no backups. I'm 6-0, basically have to take the L this week with both of them on bye. Then don't have to worry about Hurts bye week 9. Is this too risky or full go? I mean, 2 quarterback leagues make it difficult. Now having both Lamar and Josh Allen would be interesting. The issue for me is there a world where Lamar gets shut down? I mean, they're 1-5. Things aren't going great. Yes, they're on bye. Maybe he comes back healthy, but what if he's not fully healthy and they just end up tanking this whole season and they just call it what it is and they move on? Because that seems like a real possibility to me.
Yeah, I'm taking the L myself here. Like, your team's really good. They love Josh Allen, love Hurts. Lamar's situation is risky. I'm keeping Hurts and Allen. I'll take L 6-1. It's fine. You just gotta get to the playoffs, man. Get to the playoffs, get a higher seed, have Hurts and Allen rolling. Yeah, absolutely.
Tyler, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I would stick with the QBs you have. I mean, trading for injured players, while yes, it's Lamar, and we hope he comes back and he is what he was before. There's always not that guarantee, and like Matt said, they could shut him down. I probably just hold on to what I have. It's not like you're trying to trade, up from I don't know who's down in that tier, like a Bo Nix or somebody. You know what I mean? Like you're you're trading in the same tier, if not a tier below, due to the injury. So I would just keep what I have.
Yeah, you're
Well, there's
taking risk and not netting much. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah.
there's a time to buy win. There's also a time to take an L. I mean, really,
True.
I think this is one of those times. If you're trying to win a championship, just take the L.
Especially being 6-0, it kind of builds in that you can take this. And, if your team's good enough, there's a world where you can still pull off a win. And, I might, if I have the space, just go pull 2 random backups and put them on my roster and then just start them. And, if they get in, like maybe do some risky players, like heck, maybe Tyler Shuck. I don't know, just a name out there who's a backup who, if the team plays bad enough and the team is bad enough, they might just throw the backup out there, see what happens. Shador, that's another opportunity. Albert's here. We appreciate you, as always, for being here, Albert. Jamie says, yeah, he had an issue joining the stream. Yeah, YouTube is definitely having an issue right now. So if you're here, we appreciate you for being here. We'll answer all the questions, and then we'll carry on. We've got some buy sells and some stuff to talk about. But as Hoff said, you should still slap that like button. It doesn't stop you from hitting the like button. So if you're here, we would appreciate that greatly. Zach, thanks for joining, brother. YouTube having issues. Jose says, Tez, Cameron, Shahid, Born Boudet, pick one. I'm not sure who's Cameron. Who am I missing? Is there someone obvious there that I'm missing?
It's probably Cameron Johnson, I'm assuming, from the Bucks.
Yeah, the backup. Yeah. If I had to pick one here, I'm going probably Bourne if Pearsall doesn't play, which I don't
this
think he
week.
is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Bourne's
Bourne.
he's been more consistent out of all of those guys. Like the last 2 weeks, whenever you needed him because they had nobody else, he's actually played really well. I'm actually having to throw him in a lineup in one of our leagues because Garrett Wilson went down and I don't have very many other people to play. So yeah, in his last two weeks, he's had 24. This is PPR scoring 24 points and 19.2 points. So he's been the wide receiver 6 and 11 the last 2 weeks. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean Shahid's interesting just because the big play. He's always one catch away from being a guy that can win you a week, and that's something that Coach has talked a lot about for a long time. So shout out Coach there. But
I've seen him mentioned a lot in a lot of trade rumors this week. Speaking of, Shahid's been a big talk today, especially.
Can you imagine him on, the Patriots? I mean, they keep throwing these deep bombs. They had this one this weekend to Demario Douglas, actually 2 to Demario Douglas. I mean, Shahid is that role, and Drake May's on fire right now, so that would be interesting to me. KJ Frederick asked, should I drop Juwan Jennings for Luther Burden full PPR? Personally, no, I'm not. Don't chase the Luther Burden points. I'm not going to do that. The offense is too many pieces, too many weapons. I don't think he's a consistent play yet. He's still only out there for like a third of the snaps. Coach, you're the resident Bears fan, so you lay it on us.
No, I mean, I agree with you, but I do think his usage is on the rise. Like, he's working in more and more. So, I mean, definitely in Dynasty, I feel really good about Luther Burden. But yeah, I'd just roll with Jennings right now.
Tyler?
I agree. I do want to point out, if I'm not mistaken, DJ Moore ended up in the hospital the other night after the game. He had like a hamstring strain or something. They were just monitoring it closely for some reason. So keep an eye out on that. But I'm still willing to hold on to Juwan, and I'll take the L on Luther if he comes through in a big way.
Yeah. Jose comes back, guys, says Tet, Brees, or Bourne. Pick one to flex. I'm going with Tet. He's the most consistent play right there, in my opinion. Yeah. I also think he probably has the highest upside.
Yep, I agree.
And the other thing, too, is, I mean, I did my running back video earlier in the week. Brees' metrics are all saying that he should be really good, but he's not, just because that team and that offense are terrible.
Terrible.
He's still averaging a ton of yards per touch, ton of fantasy points per touch. So it's interesting. I hope it gets better. I would love for him to get moved. I really would. Says I can pick up Carter, who is kicked out of my league and is on waivers. I mean, Carter's interesting. I mean, I can't believe he got kicked out. That's crazy. Poor guy.
That's tough.
PPR, pick one, Monty or Vidal. Tyler, as your running back 2.
Ooh, I'm going Monty. I know Vidal had a good week last week. However, that coaching staff came out originally and said Hassan Haskins was going to be the guy, and then Vidal took the workload. It could easily reverse this week. So I'll take Monty being a stable force. I know him and Jahmyr Gibbs have an ungodly amount of games where they both score a touchdown. It could easily be a Monty week. I'll take that.
Coach, what's your thoughts, Monty or Vidal?
Monty's safer. He's just a safer play, much higher floor with Monty. I like Vidal, but I would roll Monty on on the floor aspect of this.
You know, I want to say Vidal, but my rankings say David Montgomery too. Vidal had the big week, 23 points, 18 carries, 124 yards, 3 catches for 14 yards and the touchdown. Monty, Tyler, you mentioned it. Not a great week, didn't get the touchdown, but this team is so good that they could bounce back. I don't expect them to struggle like they did against Kansas City this past week. They're taking on Tampa Bay, who's kind of injured all over the place, so maybe that works out for them. I don't know. Do you guys know if Vita Vea is playing? Because I think that's important too, if he's going to play. I know he's a little banged up, but
I hadn't heard.
We'll carry on. Jamie lightly tapped the like button, so we appreciate that. Josh says, Knicks, A-Chain, Kyron, Kamara, Marks, Vidal, Harrison Jr., Tucker, Downs, Jennings, Fannin, Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
Just traded Jalen Warren for Olave. I feel like I need to try and do another one. Trade has lost his neighbors and started as 0-4. I mean, trading Jalen Warren for Olave, I think is a pretty good deal. I mean, I'd rather have Olave. I mean, get some wide receiver stability there, right? It's a full PPR league, so that matters.
Yeah, he needs wide receivers. I mean,
yeah,
that's the need. There's a bad need for that. Yeah. If Harrison Jr. is your best one, that's a problem.
And the other thing, too, guys, is Olave is another name that's been rumored to possibly be on the move. So maybe he's a guy that ends up in not Pittsburgh with the Patriots. We could see that happening. So that's not crazy. That would be a great move for you if that happened. But I get it. 0-4, you got to make moves. I mean, you lost neighbors. That really hurts. You've got depth at the tight end position and Fannin, Mason Taylor. I'm not going to play him just yet. But, I wouldn't fault you for making this move, my friend. Kyle says, quick question. Tet for Judkins. Good trade. What do you think, Coach?
It just depends on the makeup of your team. Like, do you have plenty of wide receivers and need a running back? If so, then you make this deal. I mean, to me, it's just team dependent so much. So Tet and Judkins I like both of them. I would take either one of them on my team. It just all comes back to roster construction and what you need here.
Tyler, any input there?
No, he hit the nail on the head there. I think probably your more upside play, ironically, would be Judkins. Usually you think it's the wide receivers, but that Panthers offense, if Bryce has relied heavily on, it's usually not a good time, whereas Judkins can just kind of self-sustain himself there. So I would go with what Coach said, but Judkins would be the one. If I was just like in a vacuum, I'd probably take Judkins.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that Judkins had his highest point total on the year, had 17.9 points this past week, only 3 catches for 29 yards, did have the 2 touchdowns, so finally got in the end zone. That's great. That happened twice, but the other weeks, 9 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets, 8 targets, 8 targets. The volume's there, but the upside just hasn't hit. So, Tyler, you're 100% right on that Panthers offense. And that being said, Judkins, not a great offense there, but he's been able to produce. Now, I understand this past week he didn't do it, but he does take on the Miami Dolphins, who have absolutely been torched the last 2 weeks at the running back position. So Judkins could easily have a week where he finds his way as being the RB1. Like, I'm just saying, he's my RB7 or 8 on the week. So I love the play there.
It's also important to note, too, that the defenses the Panthers have been facing have been caked the last 2 weeks. That's about to change coming up this week, and then Buffalo the following between the Jets and then the Bills. That's about to get a lot more difficult for the Panthers.
And then Green Bay after that.
True. Yeah. I mean, you say what you want about the Jets. That offense is terrible. They're not very good moving the ball. But between, inside the box, between the tackles on defense, they're stout, man. I mean, they shut down Denver that whole game. They should have won it 20 times.
Well, the Panthers, like Rico Dowdle, has played really good, but they've played the two of the worst 10 rushing defenses in the NFL. The Cowboys hemorrhage rushing yards to everybody. I mean, so there is all of that's true. Don't expect the 200 yards from Dowdle every week.
Yeah, it's not consistent, but his metrics are insane. I mean, he's up there in points per touch, yards per carry, yards after contact, like everything. He's top 10, top 5 in most of those. But it is a little skewed, Coach, and I talked about that in my running back video. But let's get
a lot skewed.
Yeah,
a lot skewed.
Let's get to Bob Hope's question here. It says Pitts and Fannin PPR, and then Hurts and May. Tyler, what's your thoughts here between these two tight ends?
I actually it's not out yet. It'll be out in the morning. I have Fannin one spot ahead of Pitts this week. That Miami matchup, we've talked about it a lot. That's who they play this week. And then Pitts didn't have a great night the other night going against Buffalo, but they're like the second-ranked defense against tight ends or first at this point. So I'm not super worried about Pitts, but I would play Fannin with Njoku being out.
Yep. Coach, what about these quarterbacks? What's your thoughts there, Hurts or May?
Hurts. Like if Hurts is playing, I'm playing Hurts on between his ability to throw the ball. Like things are not nearly as bad there as it seems, and there's still a tush push for extra points.
I think you're right there. If Hurts is playing, you're playing him. May's been great, so if you play May, like you'll probably be fine. But I would rather play Hurts just because the upside's there, the floor is there. But we did just get a super chat from Jose, so we appreciate that, Jose. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. So it's 1 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex, 1 tight end. Tech, Golden, Bourne, Golden, Tez, John Gibbs, A-Chain Mason, Brees, Warren, and Kittle. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that these are the names we have to pick from. Right, guys? So let's pick 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, 1 flex, and a tight end. Immediately, we're gonna play Gibbs and we're gonna play A-Chain no matter what. So there's your 2 running backs. The first wide receiver, I'm gonna go with Tet. My flex
it's either Tet, it's either Tet or Bourne, depending on who else is there. But yeah,
and I'm going to golly. The flex, I think
Warren is your tight end.
Yeah. Assuming that's Tyler Warren, yes. If it's Jalen Warren,
I think it's Jalen Warren.
If it's Jalen Warren, I would put him in the flex. And then I would play Kittle if I didn't have another option. I think he'll be fine. But I would if it's Tyler Warren, I would play Tyler Warren.
Yeah. Jose, is this Tyler Warren or is this Jalen Warren? Let us know in the chat. I'm torn between the flex being either Mason or Brees Hall. And he does say it's Tyler Warren. So we're playing Tyler Warren.
Yes.
Okay, so now the flex. Man.
Bourne.
You could play Tet and Bourne and do that. I don't hate that.
I'm flexing Brees, guys. I am. Takes on the Panthers. I know they're stout, but these 2 teams where I could just see it getting into a shootout where it's like 40-38, and they just go all over each other. So I would play Brees.
I'm going to be honest.
He's averaging 4.66 per carry. He's top 10 in yards after contact.
I don't
hate it. That's a higher floor for Brees and Mason, really. They're safer plays.
They may be safer, but I don't think it's going to be the biggest shootout. I mean, you've got Garrett Wilson missing. They have nobody else to throw the ball to other than Mason Taylor. I don't know that the Jets can put up weirdly enough, I don't think they can put up enough points to win the game.
That's fair. I get it. I mean, but I also could see Justin Fields just running for 100 yards, Brees running for 100 yards, and them throwing for 100 yards and just find a way. I mean, it's still the Panthers,
who actually have a pretty decent run defense.
They do have good run defense. It's worth noting. It's top 10.
Yeah.
So, well, Jose, we appreciate the super chat. I think we're those 2 are going Bourne, and I'm going with Brees, right? That's the final answer for the flex.
That's my final answer.
Mm-hmm. And otherwise we're in complete agreement. So, just to recap, it's going to be Tet, A-Chain, Gibbs, Warren, and then I'm going Brees. You guys are going Bourne.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Well, make your decision, Jose. Let us know how it goes. I'm interested to hear it back. But let's get back. KJ asked Coach specifically a question. Can you see DJ Moore getting traded before the trade deadline?
Maybe. I honestly, I would be for this. I've always said that. I've been saying this, but I'm gonna change my answer to this. Absolutely not, because Ben Johnson's been using DJ Moore all over the place. Like, he's been in the backfield, he's been handing him counters, like all kinds of stuff with DJ Moore. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened in the offseason and we roll with Luther Burden there, but DJ Moore's a big part of what Ben Johnson's trying to do, so I think he hangs in there.
Yeah. Tyler, would you expect DJ Moore to be traded? I'm kind of with Coach. I don't think that this team's going to make a move to get rid of someone. I could see them adding something.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's more of an off-season move. Plus, we just talked about how he's hurt. Nobody's really trading for a vet with a hamstring injury right now, especially during the season. So,
yeah. Okay, well then let's carry on. Adrian asked you, Tyler, specifically. You can't see where it says Tyler, but I can. It says, at this point, do we drop Juwan Jennings?
I don't think you can drop him yet. I mean, he's been injured. It's just like, are you going and are you going to drop Ricky Pearsall? Are you going to drop George Kittle? No, you're not going to drop those, because when they're back and they're healthy, they do great things. So you're not dropping those guys. I would roll with Juwan Jennings, keep him on your bench. If he's playing, you probably play him unless you just have that much better of an option.
So, Tyler, what happens with these guys when Pearsall comes back? There's Pearsall, Bourne, Jennings, Kittle. If they're all out there, what happens?
I think Bourne goes back to the wayside. I think that's fine. We've seen that happen plenty of times now. I think it would end up being Pearsall, Jennings, and Kittle, just like they started the year, until Christian McCaffrey siphoned all of the energy out of all of them to stay healthy. So, but yeah, I mean, I would think that's what happens. And that's what I've been kind of cautioning people of, especially in my tight end videos with Tonjes. I would say the same thing here about Bourne, that last question that we just, talked about. If that whole room is back, I'm less likely to play Bourne. But they need to throw the ball to somebody. So at this point, it's Bourne, and yeah.
We'll come back to your question real quick, but you guys mentioned Tonjes, and guess who's here, Coach? Oh, with the pizza. Says Fannin outscored Tonjes. So that's fantastic.
Go ahead, Matt. Tell them what happened.
I had a wonderful pizza on Monday night. I unfortunately watched my Manders lose to Coach's Bears while eating a pizza brought to you by Coach, hashtag the Shackaroni. It was so good. It was great to see that the pizza bet went my way. So shout out Coach, shout out O for being here. Thanks for checking in on that. That's huge.
That's hilarious.
Find a pizza bet for this week.
I know. Coach, you've lost 2 pizza bets in a row. So
I went all out, though, by the way.
You did go all out. He got the cookie. He got the drink. It was a heck of an experience. It was being wined and dined. It was wonderful.
It was date night on Coach. It
literally was.
Right?
It was date night at my house on Coach. It was
pretty
good. So we'll get back to Adrian's question here. Let me get back to where we were. It says, do you drop Juwan Jennings from Malik Washington? Coach, you've talked a little bit about Malik Washington. Would you be interested in that?
No. I do like Malik Washington. He's a good athlete. He's getting some opportunity now, but I think I'm gonna hang on to Jennings.
I would hang on to Jennings too. There's more upside there, but he does say you're not going to get a better tush to push points out for you than Jalen Hurts. So we would agree. But
they're not going to call offside. That's for sure.
That's true, but we'll call it on the Bears. So
I know.
Okay, Coach.
Between the refs and Troy Aikman.
That's true. But Troy Aikman has all Bears fan just in a tizzy right now. Says start 1, Pollard, Marks, or Sharps. Coach, who would you pick out of this group?
Pollard. I don't feel great about it, but I would take Pollard there.
Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going with Pollard. Sharps is still in the workload timeshare with Kenneth Walker.
It's time for Sharps to go to the bench. It's time for Sharps to go to the bench and stay there.
Or he
I've been
could get
saying
traded. He could be the one traded too.
No one's trading for him because he's not good. How many times do we have to go over this? He's not good. I mean, what more do we have to see? He runs it in the end zone. He gets 6 points to float his 10-point weeks, where he gets 12 carries, 24 yards, 12 carries, 39 yards, 15 carries, 10 yards. I mean, come on, man. He's not efficient. Like, we keep trying to build like he's some. I can't. I just can't. It gets me going. But, all right. Manuel says, oh, by the way, I would start Woody Marks. That would be my pick. I don't know if I said that.
You did
Andrew
not.
says, Brees, Lamb, Bijan, McConkey. Which side wins? Bijan and McConkey.
I want the Bijan side, period. This dude's freaking baller, man. Give me B. I like Lamb, but Bijan is so dang good. I need more than that.
Yeah. I would go with Bijan for sure. Coach,
I think Bijan's better than Lamb, and McConkey is better than Brees.
Okay. If you had this list up here, would you take Bam or Pacheco over any of those guys? Over Pollard, since that's who you're starting.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I know, Coach. We talked about it a little bit, I think, last week. I'm not chasing any of these Arizona running backs. I understand Bam had the 12 or 13-point game, and that's great, but I'm not trusting it, man. I would rather play any of the other guys or even Pacheco over Bam. Pacheco looked good on Monday night, got some more yards, but Kareem Hunt still remains involved. He didn't have many points, but he still got at the goal line. They're continuing to use.
I sort of think that he's trying to get us into another pizza bet here somehow.
I think he could be, but I thought we might there with Pollard and Marks, but that doesn't feel good. I mean, that's a gross pizza. That's like going for a Little Caesars pizza. Like winner gets a hot and ready. We want shacaronis in this house, So
I need to win one.
That'll never happen. Jose says, I have Jennings on my waiver. Can I pick him up and throw Tez Johnson out, or should I just wait? I would probably take Jennings over Tez Johnson personally. But, I mean, he had the big play. That's fun to see. But, he could certainly.
It's short-lived.
Totally agree.
Yep.
It's a great way to put it.
I do like Kate Otten this week.
There you go. That's a big name to watch. Only 2 likes. Hit that like button, folks. We agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell them. Tell them.
We're telling them. We're telling them. Okay, Logan says, but the question is, you both have Mayfield and Williams as quarterback. Who you starting? Coach, you're the Bears, so we're going to kick all Bear questions to you. Would you rather start Baker or Caleb Williams?
Bucks have who?
The Bucks play.
I know who the Bears have.
I just looked at this.
The Bucks are in Detroit.
I just said it too. Detroit. Yeah.
Mayfield is really good. Obviously, the MVP if it ended today. That being said, I'm starting Caleb Williams versus the Saints.
I would too. It feels like a mistake because Baker's been really good. But, all these injuries to these pass catchers, it's at least a little bit concerning. So I would probably go with Caleb Williams.
But now that he went into the nation's capital and took control of the Commanders with ease, it's Caleb Williams.
Oh, gosh. If Jake Moody didn't find his ability to kick like he was at Michigan,
he always had
having a different story.
He always had it. There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt.
It crushed. That game was so defeating, man. I felt like I was punched in the gut when we fumbled. It was terrible. It was brutal.
All-world quarterback throws the ball on the ground.
Stop. We're moving on.
I'm
Logan says he also has Brees, Etienne, Warren. Which 2 am I starting? I'm going to go with Brees and Etienne. Tyler, what about you?
Yeah, probably at that point. That's who I would go with.
Yeah, I agree.
Etienne's good. He's got all the breakaway yards, all the breakaway percentage. So if he can just get some space, he'll be great going forward. I mean, is the matchup great?
Warren and Brees
are
kind of close.
They are close.
And Warren plays Cincy this week, so it is interesting. I get why you have the concerns.
Yeah, I get it. Jose says, I have Franklin, Shaheed, Downs, and Io Manor and Atwell. Who can I lift off waivers? Coach, out of these names, who would you want off waivers? You're a waiver man.
Is he saying all those guys are available on waivers, or he needs to go get someone else?
Yeah.
No, they're all on waivers.
I want Shaheed out of that group.
I think I would go Downs.
He's not going to play.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But if I don't need him to play this week, I'd rather have Downs long term. That offense hot.
Okay,
So,
that's fair.
but
That's
I
fair.
totally get it too. I totally get it.
I mean, if I'm hunting, if I need a guy to add this week for, I got
Totally
to
agree.
play Shaheed.
Totally agree. Tyler,
Yeah.
any difference there?
Nope, same.
Okay, well, let's get to Josh's question here, guys. Says KC needs to let Smith get more touches, be the running back in that backfield. He's untouchable in fantasy. Tyler, what's your thoughts on Brashard Smith?
I mean, he looks good when he gets the ball, but he's just not getting the workload. I mean, the thing is this offense runs through Patrick Mahomes, and them getting Rashee Rice back this week, I don't think that changes any. They'll do all the little manufactured touches for Worthy and Rashee Rice and all that. So I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a running back out of Kansas City that's going to do you too well for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Smith is interesting. I mean, he's a big playmaker, electric, has the background from college. Does he step in and sort of command that backfield? I don't think so. I've said it once. I'm saying it 100 times. I think Kareem Hunt matters the most to this team. I mean, they fed Pacheco the rock to move the chains, but when the play is at its highest moment, Kareem Hunt is always in the game. I think they trust him and they know they can rely on him. So I think he's going to be a thorn in whoever is the star in that backfield, to be honest, no matter who it is.
Mm-hmm. You saw it 2 weeks ago, too. Like you saw Kareem. He was in the game at the very end. He scored 2 touchdowns off of that. Like, I mean, they trust him to be there.
Yeah, he's an important playmaker in that offense. Good question here, Coach. We're gonna get to one of your favorites. How are we feeling about Marvin Harrison Jr. this week? I've got Ibuka and Pearsall too, so we've got an injured wide receiver room, hurting at wide receiver right now. Grab Boutte off waivers. Has Pittman? Should I be on the lookout for who?
Who should I be on the lookout for?
Yeah, who should I be in the lookout for in a half PPR 10-man league? Coach, what's your thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr. this week?
So
we talked about
as soon as I saw this, my initial answer is That's kind of how I feel about Marvin Harrison Jr. all the time. He's okay. That's what he is. He's just okay. He'll go catch the ball. His catch radius is pretty good. His separation skills, not very good. Jacoby Brissett helped open up the offense. It just is what it is. He's a better pocket passer than Kyler Murray. Yeah, I said it. He just is. That being said, he spread the ball around a lot. Like Zay Jones caught a lot of balls. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is just going to be okay. And I think that's just what you can expect out of him most of the time. He's just okay. You got Boutte on waivers. So I was thinking, too, if you're hunting someone else on waivers, somebody to keep an eye on, for me, is Jordan Whittington. That's a name to keep an eye on, because when Puka's not playing, which he's not going to play, I wouldn't imagine. It doesn't look like he's going to play. His usage steps up big time. Now, obviously, there's going to be an uptick for Devontae Adams, but Devontae Adams doesn't typically do what Puka does. The next guy on that team that can do the things that they ask Puka to do is Whittington, and I think he'll get the ball. I think he's a guy that's going to catch 6 passes. And so if you're hunting somebody that can fill in for you in the short term, that's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I think you're right there on Whittington. I mean, we've seen him do it in the past. Last week when Puka did get hurt, it's worth noting 92% of the snaps. So he's out there, he's running routes. I get he only had 3 catches, 23 yards, but the game was kind of handled at the point they're just chewing clock. Tyler, let's start with Marvin Harrison Jr. with you. I mean, taking on the Packers this week, what's your thoughts there? Do you think he's a reliable wide receiver 1? Or are you a little more reserved, kind of like Coach is saying, with Brissett being the quarterback? Maybe it's better.
I definitely think Brissett being the quarterback, I think he's probably going to lend to a better, passing performance. But that being said, Marvin did go through concussion protocol through that last game, something to bring up. So you may have another wide receiver out, which would just be terrible at this point. So just kind of keep an eye out on that. He was estimated as limited today. So there's a chance he still plays. At least he's moving through at that point. But I'm not super concerned with Marvin Harrison Jr. I've always been a little bit higher on him than you two, I feel like, anyways. But I don't think he's this locked and loaded wide receiver 1. I think he's probably living in the wide receiver 2 range as of right now. And then as far as like waivers go, you picked up Boutte. I hope that works out for you because everybody ran to the waivers before, including me, to go get Boutte after that. Week 2? Was it week 2 or week 1? Whichever one it was. Everybody thought this was it, and then he did nothing for the next 3 weeks. So I like Coach's call of Whittington there. And this is not like a huge name either, but like if you're looking for somebody on the Cardinals to replace with, they seem to use Zay Jones a decent amount last week, or Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch is always interesting too. Dortch the Torch, baby. Straight out of Wake Forest.
Jones.
And Zay Jones, yeah, I said him too. So, I mean, just some guys, if you're looking at staying with the Cardinals, that you could pick up. But let's just hope that Marvin plays and you get to roll with him.
Marv is wide receiver 30 currently on the season. This is who this guy is. Like, people need to recognize this is who this guy is. Sorry.
Well,
he's a fine NFL receiver. He's a solid NFL receiver. I've always said that. I just, like you say, he's not a wide receiver 1. He's getting closer to a flex than he is wide receiver 2.
Do you bake any stock into the fact of everybody's now questioning Kyler Murray too? Do you think that if they played? No, I'm just serious. Everybody's questioning it. We've talked about it before. If they decided to change quarterbacks, for whatever reason, Kyler was hurt, do whatever, and Marv started to have an uptick in work, and he actually started to produce, how would you be like, oh, well, this is not going to last because Kyler's coming back? Or would you be like, oh, he's seen he can actually do it, it's a Kyler problem?
I don't know. Jacoby played quarterback, and he had 340 passing yards, and very few of them were to Marvin Harrison last week.
That's because he had a concussion.
Also true.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, it's so hard to say. Maybe is it Kyler Murray's fault? Maybe is it not? Maybe, I don't know. Garrett Wilson's obviously taking a bit of a hit because Justin Fields can't get him the ball right now. So so there is that. I do think Kyler Murray's a little better than that, but
he is better than that.
Yeah,
but he's still limited as a passer. But let's get through some of these questions, and then we'll hit Coach's picks. We've got a few buy sells we want to talk about. But let's get to Sosa here. It says trade away Swift and Rico for Saquon. Swift had the big night Monday night. Coach, would you be willing to trade both these guys for Saquon? I mean, Rico might be just on a couple more week rentals as the true guy. But when Chuba comes back, it's probably a split workload, right?
And Rico's really now's the time to sell him. He's coming back down to earth sooner or later. And the flip of that is it's the best time to buy Saquon cheap that you can get him. Like, it's not going to keep being this bad for Saquon. I don't even see how that's possible, to be honest. So,
yep.
Also Swift, same way. Swift's not played well all year, and he had the best game I've ever seen him have Monday night. Now, the blocking was fantastic too. He wasn't out there breaking tackles left and right.
Washington's
but he was explosive. He had some burst. I would rather have Saquon. I think I would.
I would too. Tyler?
Same. Yep.
Flavio here says, what do you think of the Steelers defense tomorrow? Pete's ranking says they're 9th overall in the week, so the three of us would say that's a top 10 performance. You should use that. Josh says, Andy Reid loves Kareem Hunt. He certainly does. Hobby Steel says, do you guys think I should trade Rico for BTJ right now? I have Judkins, Jacobs, Bucky, and Rico right now. Tyler, you're shaking your head, so give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about it. We highlighted it. Rico has played two of the worst run defenses the last 2 weeks. He's exploded when he was supposed to because he got the entire workload. And I think BTJ's his involvement is only going to get better as the season goes on. Whatever happened between him and Trevor Lawrence at the beginning of the year, that it seems to be slowly fading away. So I would go get Brian Thomas Jr. before Chuba comes back and does all that, and you'll at least get some production.
Yeah, Coach, I'm going to just assume you would agree. I mean, it seems like a pretty good deal. I mean, again, Rico's on a possible rental. He could be the guy for another week or two. That'd be great. But when Chuba comes back, he's going to have a role, and then you're left with a split backfield on a pretty bad offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, BTJ had a little bounce back this past week too. Like I'm running to accept this deal.
Yeah. Solo Galaxy says start 2. Waddle, Debo, Bill, and DK. I'm going to start Debo more likely than not. We'll see what happens with his health. I know it's kind of mentioned, but I don't think anything's going to happen there. And then, probably Waddle. And I hate that. Coach, Tyler, either one of you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm starting Debo and DK. No question for me on DK. He's wide receiver 16 and has already had his bye week.
Yeah.
Aaron
they
Rodgers
play the Bengals.
loves that dude. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers loves that dude. Debo and DK for me.
Yeah. My only question there is if you play Bill over Debo, Matt, you're the Commanders guy. What do you think of last week? Do you think it gets better this coming week against Dallas? Do you think Bill gets more involved? Like they go back to him?
Yeah, that is the best part. I talked about it in my video of this is kind of the prove it week for Bill. He gets the Dallas matchup, so it's there again. Like this team is just giving up everything. I mean, we saw Rico run through them, and every other running back has run all over them. So Bill should be able to do it. Maybe Sam Cosmi comes back too, so that will help. He did have the fumble back-to-back weeks with a fumble. The second fumble was not attributed to him, thank God. But even with that, I think that it's time for him to prove it. I mean, he's made the team make all these moves. He looked good in the offseason. I'm going to play him with confidence. I have him high in my rankings. I understand it might be some fan bias. It might be some confirmation bias. But at the same time, I still think he's making plays. Against the Bears, he still was making people miss. And I'm just going to trust the player, and I'm going to trust what my eyes are telling me. And my eyes tell me that Bill's going to be a good player.
Yeah. With that being said, I'm probably going DK and Bill. That was my I wanted to get your backup there as the Commanders fan. But I agree with Coach. Wide receiver 16 for DK. He's scored, I think, a touchdown in the last 4 games. I see that continuing. And then I'll take the shot that the Cowboys, do what they always do this year and give Bill one hell of a game to go for.
Coach, anything to add there? Are you ready to move on?
I'm good. Move on. I agree with everything. I'm with you guys.
Jamie says Kyler would be better if they allowed him to use a step stool while throwing. We can't confirm or deny that would happen. So we need to.
If that is true, then that would be true for Dylan Gabriel and Bryce Young.
100%.
Maybe we put one out there. Give them those moon shoes from the early 2000s. You guys remember those?
Yes. Yep.
Throw those on. I'll have to try that.
Maybe
Coach has no clue what we're talking about.
Strength
is it
shoes,
legal?
You know what those are?
Coach, we don't know what a roller rink was that you went to for a disco. Sorry, bro.
I did.
Is Jacoby getting traded? Maybe. I'm. Some people think Jacoby's really good, and I think Jacoby is a fine player, and I will leave it at that. He's a fine player.
What do you think about AJ Brown?
I think he's a good player. I don't think that he's. Never mind. SWL says Goff, Rodgers, or Stafford this week. Tyler, which one are you picking?
Sorry, that one got me. I would probably. Who do the Rams have this week? Coach, you should know this. You have Puka.
And Jacksonville.
I'm probably going Stafford.
Oh, sorry, in
point.
London against Jacksonville. In London, right?
I'm still probably going Stafford.
Yeah.
He's looked too good. Rodgers, yes, he's playing a bad defense again, like he has all year. And look
because that's the worst division in the history of the NFL, maybe.
Yeah. And then I do
serious.
like Goff. I do like Goff against Tampa Bay, but I will take Stafford even without Puka.
I think I'd go Goff
here.
Yeah. I would go Goff.
Tampa
Puka
just
being
finds
out
its way
me.
into shootouts. Tampa just is in shootouts all the time.
True. Baker's good, man. He's really dang good. Coach,
but you know who Goff is good.
Goff is good.
Goff's pretty good. Yeah.
Coach, Josh wore some strength shoes to
Thank
practice.
you.
His calves were
Dude.
huge. To this day, they're still huge.
Dude, my mom used to make me run up and down the driveway in those things. God, I could jump out of the gym. Not really.
No, I was gonna say I'd pay money to see the
love to
clips.
see that.
This is no lie. This is no lie. I'd be up and down the driveway, jump rope. My mom's sitting there timing me. Oh, brutal.
Yeah,
Josh, I feel you, but I feel your pain, Josh.
You know how they took Coach's picture? It was when they had the little black hood thing, and they would hold the thing out to the side and koosh. That's how Coach's pictures were back in the day. So there's no tape of him having these huge hops. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But okay, well, let's transition. I've got a question for you guys now. We had a huge week this past week. Cam Scatterboo finds his way inside of the top 5 running backs on the week. 3 touchdown monster performance for him, Coach. He had 31 points, 19 carries for 98 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 catches for 12 yards. I start with you, Coach, because I benched him in a league that you and I co-manage. Made a poor decision there. Are you buying or are you selling Cam Scatterboo rest of the season? And what are we doing long term? I know we had some stuff in the group chat talking about what is his value at. Is it a first and a second plus? Rest of the season, what's your outlook for Cam Scatterboo? Would you be buying him or selling him?
I'll be buying Cam Scatterboo. Like, I feel really good. Like, we were a little concerned about what Tyrone Tracy would do to his usage, which led to Matt benching him. But obviously, that didn't affect him at all. Like, I think the Giants are just gonna ride this wave of the young guys, man. They're loving the energy that Scatterboo and Dart are bringing to the organization. They're gonna keep giving it to him. He brings a lot of fire and passion. That's really changed a lot of things in New York, and I really think he's a guy that you're going to want to buy. He's going to be out there. He's going to be producing.
Cam is currently 3rd in the NFL among running backs and touchdowns. He's top 10 in points per snap, averaging almost 0.97 points per snap or per touch, Tyler, I mean, what's your thoughts on Cam Scatterboo rest of the season? And then let's get into some dynasty talk here.
I mean, rest of season, I think he's going to be good, My question is it goes back to, like we said, the offenses that aren't necessarily the best or maybe aren't producing the best. I know, against Philly, they did well. They're getting ready to go against Denver this week and then Philly again next week. So it'll be interesting. I would be buying him still. This man, I pulled him up on Sleeper, and they have him in a helmet with horns on. And all I can think of is Juggernaut from, I think that was the Batman movies, like the Dark Knight movies, where he's just like running through walls. That actually now that I think about it, it may not have been Dark Knight. It may have been, what's that, like X-Men movies, all of those movies. Regardless, that's who he reminds me of because he just runs into brick walls for fun. So I like players like that on my team. So I would take Cam Scatterboo as well.
I mean, Cam Scatterboo, I'm pulling up his box score here, guys. Outside of week 1, where he only had 12% of the snaps, every week since he's had over 50% of the snaps, and he's had double-digit fantasy points the entire time. He's also up there in targets on the year. He has multiple games of over 5 targets, one with 8, one with 7. He's got tons of opportunity. I mean, 25 carries in week 4, 15 carries in week 5, 19 carries in week 6. I think this is just, he's the guy. Has he cemented himself as, what would you say, a top 10 running back in Dynasty, Coach? Would you be willing to put him that high?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So on the year in half PPR, Jahmyr Gibbs has scored 1.6 points more than him total on the season so far. That's kind of crazy, especially when you consider his usage in the first couple of games was way down. Dynasty wise, yeah, to me he's a top 10 back. He's been really impressive. Like, I understand Matt's hesitation a little bit. It's probably a lack of explosion. He's not as much of a side to side guy. Like, I can understand that. But what people forget about Scatterboo is he's really good out of the backfield as well. He's a heck of a receiver, and that ups his value even more. He's got 20 catches on the year already, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Tyler, I'm going to pitch it back to you. I mean, I updated my dynasty rankings at the 1st of October, and I had him sitting at running back 17. And I'll tell you this, I have working ones that I'm always updating and changing just based on information. I'm already moving him higher. I've moved his name ahead of that. How high would you take him? So I'm going to read off a couple names to you, Tyler, and I want you to tell me if you would rather have Cam or the other name. So let's start with this. Quinshon Judkins or Cam Scatterbo?
Judkins.
Okay. Cam Scatterbo or Amarian Hampton?
Hampton.
Cam Scatterbo or Travion Henderson?
I'm still in on Travion. I don't know what they're doing.
That's close.
It is very close.
Really close.
It's very close, but I'm still in on Travion.
I'm Scatterbo on that.
Okay. Brees Hall or Cam Scatterbo?
If he gets traded, could I change my answer? I would probably put Scatterbo
Sure.
there. Would probably be my answer. That's probably where I'd put him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about a few win now pieces then. Cam Scatterbo or Saquon Barkley?
Saquon.
Scatterbo.
Oh.
Mm.
I'm just thinking like if you're playing in 2 to 3 year windows, I'm not saying Saquon is going to fall off here, but he's not looked great so far this year. And with Scatterbo just ascending, I mean, you really don't think that offense gets better every year as they grow together?
Offensive line trending up, Neighbors coming back next year. I mean, I get it. I think I would have Cam over Saquon, and I would have Cam. I think Cam over Travion's a lot closer. I'd have Cam over Brees Hall. I mean,
where does that put him over Brees? Where is that at for you?
I mean, he's got to be, again, I haven't finalized him, but he's got to be around 10 or 11.
Okay.
To be
I was
honest.
curious from my own.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in my head, I was trying to run through like, okay, you've got Bijan, Gibbs, JT.
Bijan, Genty, Bucky, A-Chain, Taylor, Hampton, Cook. Those are all Judkins. Those are all the immediate names I'd take over him. That's 10 right there.
Yeah.
That's
Henderson
about
is
it.
close. Yeah, Henderson's where it gets really close. So I don't know. I think there's a lot there. I mean, let me ask you this, guys. Would you trade a first and a second to go get Cam Scatterbo right now? Let's say it's the 112 and the 209.
Yes. Yes.
Sure. What if it's the 109 and the 207?
Yes.
It's closer. I'm debating it, but yeah, it's closer. Because you usually get that tier gap that's like 107 to 108 range. That's where I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Okay. Would you trade the 106 for Cam Scatterbo right now?
No.
Straight up? Maybe. If I'm trying to win right now, if I think I can win right now, maybe.
No.
I'd be interested. 23 years old, offense trending up, tons of workload. Tyrone Tracy has looked obsolete. I mean, I get he's been injured, but still, hey.
If you knew at 106 you were drafting a Cam Scatterbo, you'd be fine with that.
You'd be happy. Yeah, you'd be happy.
So, yeah, but you can get better at 106. That's the whole point.
Can you? You drafted Travion.
I think he's better. I still think he's better. I just don't think they're using him correctly. That's the whole issue.
Totally. Now, that being said, you would take
you also can
Judkins
get worse
at the 107.
Exactly.
You could get worse. You could have Caleb Johnson.
Yeah,
well,
right.
that was
Johnson
like 110.
108, 110.
RJ Harvey and Caleb Johnson both went in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a mistake.
Indeed it was, but it happened. it happened, sure enough. I mean, the greatest running back class of all time. It's rough. So, but I think that just kind of settles it. All three of us are buying Cam Scatterbo. I mean, there's a lot to his value right now. I get it's high. I get it's going up, but I think it's at least a little bit merited. And looking at these names, I think he's got to go higher in some dynasty rankings. But let's carry on, guys. We've got a couple more questions. Then we'll get to Coach's picks. Coach looked up his moon shoes. Max Prep. There you
Josh,
go.
are you on here, Josh? Where are you at?
Josh is he's putting them on. You guys are going to go run the draft.
I got PTSD from those, bro.
Oh my gosh. Cole says, all right, guys, I was offered Brees Hall for Vidal and Hampton. What do you think? Ooh.
No way.
I would rather have Vidal and Hampton. Stay with the better offense. Like I get Vidal is Vidal, But at the same time, what Hampton could be long term, I think is better. And just even for the rest of the season, I'd rather have the Chargers running back.
Yeah, we got to revert back to redraft. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's closer then. Like, mine was on Dynasty there for just a second. Yeah, it's closer there.
Yeah. Welcome back to Earth, Coach. We got to go back to where everyone else wants to be. That's redraft. Join Dynasty Leagues. That's all we can say. All right, trade Bucky or Genty for Javonte. I'm 6-0 and also have Rashad White. I'm probably, oh gosh, redraft. It's time to put our minds back into it, Coach. It's difficult. Javonte's been on fire, man. Tyler shaking his head no. You get to go first since you're shaking your head.
That's fine. Here's my thing. This is my argument, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. That's fine. You have your handcuff in Rashad White with Bucky. So if Bucky doesn't play, you already have your running back locked up. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Genty, like, if you go back and you look at all the rookies, like in their trends over the last few years, rookies tend to only get better as the season goes. Now, yes, he's on a bad offense, but I don't know that Javonte's production is going to be like sustainable for an entire season. I mean, yes, they're going to have to score a lot of points because their defense is terrible, but I'm still willing to take Genty based off of talent. And then if Bucky comes back, I'm good there. So I would stay with what I have. But Javonte has played well. I'm not trying to take away from what he's done. I mean, he's the running back 5 and half PPR. So I mean, but if you're going by that logic, then you have Genty who's at 11, and then if Bucky wasn't hurt, like he's currently running back 23, and he's missed 2 games now.
Yeah.
If he wasn't hurt, he still wouldn't be better than Javonte this year. I'm Javonte. I'm Team Javonte. I'm telling you, this year. Now, Dynasty, different thing, and I get they're close. This Javonte thing for the rest of this year is for real. This dude's explosive. As long as Dak Prescott stays healthy, this offense is going to continue to score. It just is what it is. Dak is that good. So, give me Javonte.
I would trade Genty for Javonte. I would keep Bucky. You have Rashad White, so just play White. White is like the great value version of Bucky Irving. Like he does all the same things, just not as well. So play Rashad White while Bucky's hurt. When Bucky comes back, you're 6-0. You keep rolling. Genty is falling exactly where we said he would be, kind of all off season. Of you're drafting him as the RB6. He's more likely than not finishing as the RB10 to 12. And guess what? He's currently the RB11. So a lot of people smoked us all over the place for saying that, and here he is doing exactly what we said.
We were idiots for saying that.
We were. Javonte, Coach, to your credit, this is his first game this past week where he was under 10 points, and he had 8.4.
Mm-hmm.
First game under 10 points. The rest of the weeks, 20, 25, 12, 19, 27. So I would rather have Javonte over Genty, personally.
Yeah, yep, totally.
Tyler, you had a point, so what were you going to make?
Nothing. I was looking. So like if you go by points per game, right? It takes out all of your games missed and stuff. So in half point PPR, Javonte has 16.8 points per game, half PPR points per game. And then if you go and you look at Jesus, if you go and you look at Bucky, he's averaging 15.6. So it's 1.2 points, right? And he's missed 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks were Seattle and San Francisco. So I just think the upside of Bucky is much higher than that of Javonte. Now, I get the Genty. We were telling people in the offseason, like, hey, look, like Genty is great for Dynasty, but he's being drafted too high for redraft. He's being drafted at his ceiling. That was the whole point. That's why we were all like, we love him as a player, but he's going to be tough to get this year in redraft. And so, yeah, I see that, but I'm telling you,
everything around Genty is so bad too. Like everything around Genty is so bad that
he has to be the focal point of that offense. Like he has to be. Whereas the Dallas could easily go. Dallas could easily go, and when CD comes back, and it be a Pickens and CD game, and Jake Ferguson.
When CD was playing, Javonte was fabulous.
I mean, yeah, because they had to worry about it. But now that they've developed these other targets, they're going to want to get them the ball too. It's not like they're going to just completely stop throwing the ball to them either.
I think the one thing for Javonte is that he has an absolute stranglehold on this backfield. Like Miles Sanders hurt, and even when Sanders was playing, he had like one game where he made a big play. Other than that, he was pointless. Like there was no sense in rolling him out there. Javonte, coach, to your credit, whether he's wearing these shoes or not, whatever the heck they do, he's got the burst. He's got the opportunity. The Dallas offensive line, surprisingly good run blocking. They're top 10 unit run blocking. So as long as that point remains, I think Javonte's going to be fine. Because if this offense is humming, and let's say they are feeding CD, they are feeding Ferguson or Pickens, all I have to do is just get tackled at the 3-yard line, get tackled inside the red zone, let Javonte get 2 carries. Next thing you know, he's got a touchdown. I mean,
but Javonte looks completely different this year, right?
Totally different.
Completely different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I just mean like as a player, way more explosive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
a couple years
I don't
off
know.
that ACL.
Oh, God. Here we go. Let's get to Jared's question. We don't have enough time in the day for that one, Coach. PPR, Lamb or Chase? Lamb's injury worries me. So would you rather have Lamb or Chase, Coach?
Yeah, I agree with him on that. I'd probably go lean Chase just for the injury. If they were both healthy right now, I'd go Lamb.
I think I'd probably be the same. Tyler?
Yep, same.
All right, Tyler. Sean asked you, do I start the flex Dowdle or Kittle? Has Warren as his tight end?
If Chuba's not back again, I'm playing Dowdle. I mean, you ride him at this point. I mean, as much as I want to just say start Kittle no matter what, if you've got Tyler Warren in your tight end spot, anytime you're having to play 2 tight ends, that is a bad spot to be in, honestly. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got 2 good ones there, but I'd rather wait on the injury, like him coming back from the injury, especially if Chuba's not back.
Well, let's take a pause here before we get the coach's picks. I want to come back to Javonte Williams real quick, Coach. You are pretty adamant about what Javonte looks like right now. I know he's on a 1-year deal with Dallas. What's his dynasty value look like to you? I mean, he's another name that I think every single week we have to move him higher and higher. And so my first question to you would be, would you pay a first-round pick for Javonte Williams right now?
Yes. A late first. That's where it's at. Like 10, 11, 12 at the best.
Okay. Tyler, would you pay that?
Yeah,
he's
probably.
26, I think. I think he's 26.
25.
He's 25.
20, oh, even better.
25 and a half. I'm looking at it. It's almost halfway through.
Yeah. Definitely.
Tyler? I mean, I'd probably pay that.
Next 3 years, who scores more points, Javonte or Scatterboo?
Scatterboo. Just the uncertainty of Javonte. Like he could sign and he could end up being in I don't know where, but just get relegated and just become nothing. He could replace Breece Hall in New York and just waste away into nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
well, the thing with it too is Scatterboo gets to work out of the backfield. We've already alluded to that. He's good as a receiving back, so he gets those targets. He's able to sustain himself that way. Whereas Javonte's not really used the same way as Scatterboo is, and I think Scatterboo's just efficient as a runner.
Yeah, I get that. I think you're right there, Tyler. Now, I have a question for you both. Would you rather have Javonte Williams or Kyron Williams in Dynasty?
Kyron.
Would you rather have Christian McCaffrey or Javonte Williams?
At this point, I'm willing to ride Christian McCaffrey till the wheels fall off. I don't care.
Coach?
Yeah, hard not to.
Okay. Breece Hall or Javonte?
Javonte.
Yeah, that's probably where I
redraft, rest of the season, dynasty, all that.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, Javonte is working himself up the ranks every single week, man. Like I said, he's another name pulled off to the side that I think I'm going to have to get higher. I don't even remember where I had him before. I think I had him at 20. I lost my sheet.
Yeah, it's way too low.
We'll just go with 20. But let's get to these last 3 questions here. Then we'll hit Coach's pick in our special segment. So would you rather have Chase, McConkey, and Jalen Warren, or CD London and Trey Benson? Give me CD London. London can be your Chase Light right now. Give me CD over McConkey. Trey Benson is who cares? But give me something. Either you disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Adam says, I'm being offered Isaiah Davis and a second for Nick Chubb. My team is not winning the championship this year. It's a dynasty league, coach. Would you make this move?
Yeah. Yep.
I would too. Tyler, you're shaking your head. Yes, you would make this move as well.
Yep.
I mean, Chubb for a second is a steal.
In the second, you can get guys like Cam Scatterboo.
You can. You sure can. Or you can get Jalen Warren. Or excuse me, not Jalen Warren.
Jalen Polk.
Jalen Polk. Yeah, sure. Josh says Javonte did have 8 targets last game, and it was his worst of the year. It's true. Kendre Miller, worth holding on to. I need defense this week, and I have Kamara as well. My other options are drop, RJ Harvey, and Ramondre. Either of those names over Kendre this week, boys?
Kendre probably has more value than RJ Harvey.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if I'm dropping any of those, I'm probably dropping RJ Harvey. Just because Kendre's looked pretty decent when he's played. And then if Kamara does get traded, I mean, there's your running back.
Yeah. PPR league, gentlemen. Who would you start at wide receiver? Pick 2. Worthy, BTJ, Ladd. And then we'll get to the rest of the part after that. I'm going to go with BTJ and Ladd here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you start at flex, the wide receiver you didn't name, or Jordan Mason / Kittle or Ferguson?
I'm playing all the wide receivers.
You play Worthy?
At that point. Yeah. Over Jordan Mason.
Ooh.
I think Jordan Mason.
I think Jordan Mason too. I mean, I also would be interested in Ferguson too. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough to put multiple tight ends in. Like I just said it. It's
totally
tough
agree.
to put multiple tight ends in there. But
Totally.
Jake Ferguson's not been used really like a tight end this year. He's been targeted so much.
Who would you start at tight end, Kittle or Ferguson? Is that Ferguson no-brainer?
I don't want to say no-brainer, but I would start Ferguson, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's close, but I would start Ferguson too. But we've got 10 watching more on X. We appreciate everyone who's been here throughout the YouTube issues. We're going to move into our next segment here. And this is a special segment. It goes out to everyone's hearts near and dear there in Indianapolis. Welcome to the Daniel Jones Apology Tour. And now we're going to introduce our resident Colts fan and Daniel Jones super fan, Tyler. Here, my friend. You're turning red.
Here for this.
You look nervous.
Can you flash that one more time?
Sure. And again, we have to do a soft voice. Welcome to the Daniel Jones Apology Tour. It begins now.
Okay, so let's just go back to the offseason where Daniel Jones was on the Giants. He did not look great, and we traded for him. Admittedly, I was more of an Anthony Richardson believer / the situation. I was like, you drafted him as like this talent heavy guy at pick 4. If you're going to use that pick for him, you've got to develop him. And so for me, I was like, all right, let's just let him ride. Just do your thing. And then Daniel Jones came in and I was like, well, this is the worst thing because I already saw it playing out. Quarterback competition coming. It was going to only hurt Anthony Richardson's development. Wasn't going to matter. And so I was like, well, he's not that great anyway. Hopefully Anthony Richardson can win it out. And then they said, nope, Daniel Jones is your quarterback 1. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, here we go. I guess we'll see how good he is. And I will happily say the 5-1 Colts have proven me wrong. So I will apologize to Daniel Jones. I thought you were washed. But you have lived up to the hype so far. You've earned the name Indiana Jones at this point. I would like to address a X thread that I got tagged in earlier from some of the other guys here at the Face Off group, and they were comparing it to when Peyton Manning was there, and they were like, they've scored the most points out of a Colts team through the first 6 weeks ever. And people were saying, oh, he's better than Peyton Manning. And we're not going to go that far. Okay. We cannot do that.
You don't have to go that far, Tyler.
I will apologize. I will say he has been a good quarterback for us. He's looked great this year. Me and Matt co-managed a team in the league. We actually went and traded for him like 30 minutes before kickoff this past week. We were like, we need a quarterback. And QB7 on the year so far, and he was the QB4 last week. So he got us a much-needed win. And, yep, I will go ahead and apologize again to Daniel Jones because I was totally wrong.
Shout out Indiana Jones.
I thought it was going to go downhill real quick, and I have been waiting on the other foot to drop. I've been waiting on the pumpkin at the ball, so to speak. We've seen it several years where somebody will look great, and then the other foot never really drops, or sometimes it does. They'll have several good games, and then it's just horrendous after that. So, if anything, if you guys ask me, I think Daniel Jones is probably this year's Sam Darnold from last year. So, I hope it continues. He's got a pretty tough schedule here coming up. I mean, he's got the Chargers, Tennessee, not crazy, but then he's got Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Then he has a bye week. So, but if you pull up his score sheet on Sleeper, like his game log, if you get to the playoff games, they get a little juicy. You get Jacksonville week 14, Seattle week 15, San Fran 16, and then Jacksonville again in week 17 if you're still playing then. So he's got a good schedule.
Is he eligible to be the comeback player of the year, or do they have to be injured?
I have no idea.
Now, he went from the Vikings to the Colts, actually, right?
Yes.
I guess technically, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, people don't understand how hard that was for Tyler to do.
That was very hard.
Been putting this off for weeks.
Now,
that being said, I've been on him for like 3 weeks now.
It was beautiful.
I try.
I don't care. Okay. I do not care how he plays the rest of the year. He has proven himself to be significantly better than Anthony Richardson.
I will agree. I'm not. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So no judgment here. No argument. I forget. I was going to say something there, and then you threw me off. Oh, at the beginning of the season, I was like, you guys kept asking, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And I said, give me to week 5. I said, if you get me through week 5, that next live, if he's still performing the same way, I'll do it. Things came up last week, couldn't do the live stream. So I didn't get my chance last week, and then he comes out and he's a QB4. So
for our team,
here it is.
We needed it.
Here it is. I will apologize. We'll go with it. So
3-part apology. Hey man, it's true. It's great. It's got to at least feel good that your team's winning, man. Like that's the best part of it actually working. 5-1, that's huge, man.
Yeah, and if I think I saw it right today, I think we're number 1 in the AFC currently.
Yeah, you are.
So that's completely opposite as to where I thought our team was going to be this year. So I will take it.
Good. Let's hit these questions real quick, and then we'll get to your picks, Coach, and we'll get out of here. Tyler says trade Olave.
Who would have thought the Commanders would have the worst win percentage of these 3 teams right now?
Okay.
I wouldn't. No one would have thought that, right?
Guy? Who is this?
No one would have thought that.
Are you guys 4-3 or 3-3?
3-2.
3-2. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. Coach, we're on schedule here. Olave and Etienne for Lamb, would you do it? PPR redraft. Tyler needs to know. Enough of my Commanders.
If you have the running back depth, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the big part, to be honest. Running back depth makes this fine. If not, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Tyler, this one's for you. Drake London and Woody Marks for Saquon, half PPR. I have CD Lamb and Justin Jefferson. My running back 1 is Travis Etienne. That's a stacked wide receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, it's CD and JJ, but you mean to tell me you could throw Drake London in your flex spot every week and not have to worry about it?
But his only running back is Travis Etienne, or his RB1 is Travis Etienne.
Yeah, but I wonder, does he have somebody that's like hurt? You know what I mean?
Fair.
I mean,
fair.
if you need it,
Context matters.
if you need it, go make the move for Saquon. That's fine. You've got 2 stacked wide receivers there. It's fine. I would probably just try to hold on to Drake London if you could.
Back to you, Coach, on the Lamb trade here. Or would you trade Nico and Etienne for Gentia, Dunze, or for Bill? So Nico and Etienne for the package? I would do that for the package if that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
So, okay. Tron says need 2 wide receivers in a flex PPR. Nico, Olave, McLaurin, Devontae, Jaylen Warren plays on Thursday, and Fannin. So 2 wide receivers here. Going to be Nico, Olave, and I will play Jaylen Warren.
McLaurin playing?
I don't know. He's trending in the right direction. It feels like not. He's collecting $90 million, though. Shout out his agent.
For sure.
Tyler Goddard or Fannin?
According to my rankings, I've got Goddard ahead this week.
Okay. Yeah. Goddard. I would lean Goddard just slightly, too. Exotic Lord just added that my running back 2 is Alvin Kamara. I don't have any injured running backs. I was thinking maybe trying to trade for Josh Jacobs instead of Saquon. Give me Jacobs over Saquon. Jacobs is so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's criminally underrated.
Yeah.
So,
see, that's what I'm saying is like, if you have Etienne and Kamara, I'm fine with that unless you're going to go get Jacobs. If you want to go get Jacobs, okay, cool. But like, if you're telling me your starting lineup is Etienne and Kamara, and then I have to also go up against Justin Jefferson, CD, and Drake London in a week, I'll just roll with it at that point.
Yeah, I get that. All right, Coach. Well, we're caught up in the queue, so why don't you hit us with your questions here, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, higher or lower? Coming in hot. All right. Higher or lower, Christian McCaffrey, 8 catches. I feel like that was a lot. 8 receptions, Christian McCaffrey, higher or lower. I'll let Matt get us going.
Taking on the Falcons this week, that Falcons team is better than we think. Injuries to the pass catchers there are just all over the place. I'm going to go with higher. He's had higher than 8 catches already twice this season. He's had at least 8 catches one time. He's been below that mark 3 times. I'm going higher.
Tyler?
God, I wish I knew the health of all the rest of them. I'll go higher just based on the fact of the unknown, but I would not be surprised if Kittle comes back and all that, and then it's less. He probably still have 5 or 6 though.
I'm going lower here. The Falcon defense is good, man. Like you talk about very improved. Coming into last week, they allowed the fewest yards in the NFL. It's probably, if it's not there, it's top 2 or 3 now. So I'm gonna go lower. I don't think he has 6 or 7. I mean, it's gonna be close.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay,
next
Coach.
one. Cam Scatterboo, higher or lower, 70 rushing yards.
Ooh, Cam Scatterboo taking on the Denver Broncos stout defense has had over 70 yards twice this year already on the ground. So I'm going to go lower. I think he gets bottled up a little bit, stays involved in the passing game.
I'm going to go lower also. I'm with you there, Matt.
Let's see. He's had 2 over 70. That's tough.
It's tough.
It's higher, Josh.
He might use it on his head, like attach it to his head and use it as he headbutts the wall. I'll go lower. It's tough, but I'll go lower too.
Okay.
All right.
The group's
No
lower.
fun there. All right. Indiana Jones. Higher or lower, 230 passing yards. Oh, we'll start with Tyler here.
Taking on the Chargers this week, I could easily see this game being high scoring, so I'll take the over on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go higher also.
All right, then I'll go lower. You guys chase the points. I'm going to chase the good Chargers defense. Former Washington Commander Benjamin St. Juste back there playing like a stud. Got a pick last week. He went from being the worst corner in the league to looking like possibly the greatest of all time.
Interesting.
It's
All right,
tragic,
so
truly.
it is Nico Collins, higher or lower 5 receptions this week, 5 catches, more or less. Higher or lower. We're starting with Matt this time.
Nico taking on the Seahawks this week. It's not been the best year. He's hit that mark 3 times this season. I'm going to go with higher.
Yep. I would take higher as well.
Man, me too. He's kind of picked up the pace a little bit here. Not just him. CJ Stroud's played a little better here lately also.
Yep.
Which helps.
100%.
Bo Nix, higher or lower, 240 total yards.
And we're starting with Coach.
That's important. Okay.
As the Bo Nix believer.
They take
on the Giants.
Yeah, I'm going to go higher.
Tyler?
Just because I'm a Bo Nix believer. There's no walk backing down from that now. Although he has disappointed me greatly this season so far.
Overpriced.
Wasn't he the one that was banging the table all off season?
I said that's why I was so disappointed.
Pulling up his stats here. You said 240 was the line?
240, yeah.
Total yards, right? Passing and rushing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm going lower.
Yeah, freaking lower feels like the play. Dang it.
I'm going lower too. I'm going lower too. J.K. Dobbins has a good game. That's what I expect to happen.
The Giants front seven solid.
It is solid.
Mhm.
All right.
Totally agree there.
All right. I got higher. I'm hanging on.
Is that our last one, Coach?
That's the last one. Yeah.
That's the last one. All right. Well, Ben, you will be our final question of the night. So should I trade James Cook and Zay Flowers for Rome and Bucky? Oh, gosh. I'm 2-4. I'm in a 14-man league, 18 playoffs. Woof. Here's this team, guys. If you need to look at that, Cook and Zay Flowers for Rome and Bucky. I mean, if you're 2-4, I don't think you can afford to trade Bucky, who's injured. I understand Cook's on bye, so that doesn't really help you this week, but there's a good chance that Bucky misses more time, and I think he will miss more time. So I would probably hold there.
Yeah, I don't think it helps you right now. You need to win right now.
Yep. Coach, start 2. Javante Coward and Bill.
Javante Coward.
Javante Coward would be the move. We appreciate everyone being here. We are here every single Wednesday. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Be sure to throw your questions in the comment. We'll come back to them. We're live every single Wednesday. You can check out Tyler's tight end video, which is coming out tonight, I believe. My running back video is already posted. Coach has the waivers posted on X every single Monday. We'll catch you in the next one.